Okay. Now let's see if we are running. What we're running here. Oh, okay. All right. Now let's see if we're good. All right. Here we go. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name is Ryan. I get stuff at yard sales, garage sales, thrift stores, friends from church, and try to flip and make a few extra bucks online. Today, got about $100, probably about $100 net worth of sales over the weekend. 7 sales. This is decent. So we'll go over that. This is decent for me. So we'll go over that. Got a few books from a few friends at church, just looking to dump some stuff. Haven't gone through them a bunch. There's a couple that piqued my interest, but we'll see how that goes. So, let's get it going. Alright. There it is. Alright. Low to high. Had this for a while. God's Law of Adjustment and other articles. I think this. Okay, Christian Science. So read with discretion. I got this, I think. Been about a year now. Maybe longer than that. I guess it was last year around this time I started going. I had a local person who was getting bins of books from a local bookstore. That you did trade-ins and stuff, and she was buying a lot of excess, and so she was getting these huge palletfuls of books. She was scanning them, throwing them on Amazon, throwing what she could scan on Amazon, dumping the rest for like 10 for $1. So I roll in there, and I'm finding a lot of old stuff, and a bunch of what I found were old religious pamphlets from like the 60s and 70s. And some of them were bizarre as all get out. I sold a bunch of them. I still got a stack full that I need to like lot up and try to sell all as one. That may be, it's kind of gone death pile on me, and I need to get it so I can dump it. But old religious pamphlets. This went for $6.55. But I was selling stacks and stacks of them for 50 cents to $1 a piece, all the way up to, I think there were some that went for $30-$40. So, something to think about. Next up is it this truck? It's a truck. It's twat. This is like what's the description? This is a Maisto Rebels 2019 Chevrolet Silverado diecast 152 scale. Neat little truck. I like grabbing Maisto vehicles for 50 cents a piece or less, which is probably what I got this at. It may have been in a bag full of stuff. This went for $11. Maisto vehicles that are out of production are decent sellers. Not all of them, but I've had a little bit of success with some. So, even of almost any size as well. I have sold, and I think there's a reason for this. I have sold a Maisto Jeep Liberty for like $30. Reason being, it was one of the few times they ever made a Jeep Liberty vehicle, I think. Anybody made one, because the car was garbage, I think. And so, folks, a real car that is die-cast with limited production sells decently, because you got people that want like a full collection or something. Anyway, moving on. That's on my list next up. Richmond and Fredericksburg Potomac Railroad linking north and south. $11 for this book. somebody dumped a bunch of railroad books at Goodwill. And I went through them and I got 2 or 3. I don't even know if I got more than 2. And looked them up. I looked all of them up. I only wound up buying a couple to flip. So it's railroading as a like hobby interest. I think is going away a little bit. Model railroad stuff still sells, but I don't think it's not as hot a hobby as it was for well on a century probably. So there's still folks that do it, but it's nowhere near the popularity it had up through probably the 70s. I bet it started dying down a lot around then. But I've sold model railroad stuff before, and it made money, but you got to get it cheap. Some of it is still worthwhile. The great thing about model railroad stuff is guys tend to take care of their stuff. They can't tend to keep the boxes. But it's hard. It's actually not. It's not as prevalent now as even just finding the stuff. So, anyway, next up, it's 35, 39, 33, 13. Okay. This Ultimate Soldier U.S. Bazooka set. This is for like 12-inch G.I. Joes. So, and this I advertised as. I think I advertised this in a sense for what in my description says this is a beat up package. It's a good one to open because everything in it's going to be meant. If you're looking for something to open up, that's a good one to do it with. So 12-inch G.I. Joe stuff. You get it cheap, resell it. I think I spent $1 on that. So good sale there. $13. Next up. Oh, this is kind of in the same. Okay. Took a chance on this. This is from the Demon Slayer manga. These are, it's some sort of miniature set with this display box. I got this at a local thrift store. They're mint in package with the display box. So, 35 bucks for this. Spent maybe 4 or 5 on that. Look up manga stuff. Look up anime stuff when you find it. Particularly miniatures and the ancillary stuff having to do with it, because sometimes you wind up with a good find. Next up, old books. 1902, The Hudson River from Ocean to the Source. One of the best old books, condition-wise, I think I've ever come across. This went for 33 bucks. I think I undersold everybody on eBay who had this for sale. It was one of those that there was a bunch at like 50 or 60, I think. And I was like, y'all are priced too high because none of those are selling. And I undercut them. And I sold mine. And I made money. So, I love changing the market sometimes. And finally, Explore the Book, complete 1-volume hardcover book by J. Sidlow Baxter. This is a Bible study, theology, something or other book. Seems Baptist-y, but big book. This went for 40 bucks. So, religion sells. Notice, no barcode. If you see religious books, start looking them up. Particularly ones that don't have a barcode on them. Because even if it's a modern printing, even if there's something that continuously is still printed, people still like the older version sometimes. I find that interesting that even if there's like no changes to it, and it's even if it's not a first edition. I think this actually had earlier editions that were in various parts, but this still went for 40. So anyway, handful of finds from Friday. I got, let's see here. We're going to roll with this first. I almost grabbed this simply because it was a near complete set. It's missing like one book. I got 26 of these. This is the Incredible Worlds of Wally McDougall by Bill Myers. There's about 26 books of these that I got. It looks like this is kind of out of print. And it looks like $3 or $4 a book as a lot. So I'm actually going to try these on Facebook Marketplace first and see if I can get some bites. I got a handful of stuff I want to kind of list and relist on there that I think can sell. And so got a bunch of those. Next up is H.A. Ironside books on various books of the Bible. H.A. Ironside wrote what I think is a semi-commonly used commentary set, and I've sold some of his stuff before. Usually the older versions. I put these up for $15 a piece, so we'll see how they go. I think between 10 and 15 looks like it's a reasonable call. In another series, Simple Sermons. So if you're by W. Herschel Ford, handful of these. I'll be interested to see if actually some more turn up over this week at Goodwill, and if I'll be able to get a few more of those. Anything else there? Okay. Finds for this week. I actually had a friend of mine at church hand me a few things to try to do. So, hey, a book on Tai Chi. This one, here's a decent Bible that's clean, small pocket Bible that's clean. So this may be one of the ones that'll sell. A handful like science and not science, like self-help books and some cookbooks and stuff like that. Stuff that I'm gonna look them all up. Just, I got them for nothing, so I may as well look them up. See, make sure there's not one here that actually is worth a little bit. But we'll see. Some budgeting books. Let's see. Cookbooks. A slightly older. Where'd you go? This is a fun one. I don't know if it'll sell. I'll probably bring it out to the flea market. 101 Reasons to Love the Braves. Let's see. One of the ones that may sell, there's no dust jacket on it though. I'll have to check. It's a Grey's Anatomy. I think I've sold a Grey's Anatomy before. How old is this one? This is 1977, I think. So we'll see if I don't know if this came with a dust jacket or not. If it did, this one's dust jackets add. If someone's supposed to have a dust jacket and it doesn't, you're looking at most of the time less than about a quarter of the value or less on the book. So I almost never buy books that don't have dust jackets unless they're ancient or I know I can sell them. This was a good find over the weekend. I went on Saturday to a few bookstores. Opium by Jean Cocteau. Drugs, I guess. Anyway, that's about a $25 book. So that's going to get listed hopefully today or tomorrow. And anything else? Nothing else exciting, it looks like. So that's today. That was this weekend. Let's get these things packed and out the dough. And we'll be rolling. So, like, comment, subscribe, and keep rolling. It's getting. I'm hearing a handful of places where folks are selling stuff. I'm selling stuff, making a little side money. So, worth doing, worth jumping.